You might have heard that ESG is dead, or at least dying, especially in America, but you've heard wrong. For the majority of public pension funds, not just in Europe, it's still a major investment criterion. And that means for most asset managers who raise money from them, it remains the stated principle on which they invest. All that happens is they just delete the ESG slide in the deck when marketing in red US states and to serious private investors. And that's not me being cynical or flippant. It's 100% what they're doing. I wonder if that meets your bar of integrity. Now, in this era of Trump 2.0, ESG advocates are admittedly keeping a lower profile, but they've not gone anywhere. I've been involved with the ESG agenda, for better or worse, since the beginning. In this first of a short series of videos, I'm going to explain to you why ESG managed to capture the financial and business world so quickly and comprehensively, and why it will therefore not just go away on its own. When it comes to ESG, most business leaders take a very pragmatic/cynical view. While it's working, they're happy to use it. When it stops, so will they. They don't realize they're playing with fire. They're not in control of it because they don't understand it. They don't realize the power of an animating ethos, which is what it is. That's what it's designed to be. And they have no idea how easily such an ethos steals the culture from beneath their feet. And this has already happened once, nowhere more insidiously than among investment fiduciaries. Now, these people may seem like a bland and invisible bunch, but they hold an incredible amount of power. The most powerful are actually kind of the least sexy, which are the administrators of public pension funds. Now, they're very political people, but it also goes through to asset managers, fund managers, and listed company CEOs. They're all fiduciaries because they're entrusted with other people's money. Now, these latter, they don't care so much about politics. They're pragmatic people, so they take relatively little interest in the subject of ethics. But that just means that they become puppets of the people who do. I happen to be an English literature grad with an interest in theology, and so when ESG came along, I saw it for what it was. Now, I don't want to intellectualize too much in this video, but let me just state that were you to categorize ESG, it's very clearly a postmodern religion. And I don't mean to be insulting in any way. I mean that just technically. Postmodernism is just the observation that everything is relative, which is true, but it also encompasses the more unsettling assertion that therefore there is no right or wrong, there's no such thing as truth, and words have no intrinsic value beyond serving as a means to your ends. If you've spent any time in big business, you'll know that that's absolutely the spirit of the corporate world. You can have the most genuine CEO, but they still view everything through a prism that makes expediency a justification for pretty much anything. This outlook has other implications as well that play into ESG, because if reason itself is subjective, then the individual has no autonomy to exercise it, and that leads to the elevation of identity groups. That's the epistemic source of identity politics, by the way. So instead of valuing individual effort, the highest values become group identity and equality. So this is the S in ESG, the social part. It's almost never anything to do with unions or anti-slavery or health and safety. Really, it's always about identity politics. What does this mean in practice? I was once asked to review an ESG report for an asset manager, and there was a section on a business that they owned, a manufacturing business, where someone had been killed that year on the factory floor. And the only comment under the S of ESG, which stands for social, was their commitment to hiring more disabled people. True story. So the S refers only and always to identity politics. Finally, if reason is subjective, then logical contradiction is not significant, i.e. it kind of doesn't matter if you believe what you say, or even if what you say makes logical sense, so long as it serves the greater good. And that is where the G comes in. Governance. Good governance used to mean a commitment to integrity and accountability. Within ESG, the effect is the opposite. It's the commitment to the political goals of the ESG agenda, wherein the ends justify the means. This ethic has spawned a whole genre of management speak that is designed to sidestep proper governance and accountability. Things like revealed preference. So that's the idea that you can infer your customers' political beliefs from how they buy their toothpaste or whatever. Or here's another one: what gets measured gets managed, which is a way of getting people to manage things by the back door when you know you don't have a clear mandate to ask them to manage it. So you just get them to measure it. No harm in that. These are all ruses to allow this community of fiduciaries to pursue their own personal political goals with other people's money and through other people's assets. Another characteristic of ESG is its preoccupation with data, which leads to the distillation of everything down to standardized and meaningless abstractions. Now, this is tied, I think, to the kind of left brain belief that ethics can be derived from performance metrics. And that, more than anything, is the assumption that turns something that sounds vaguely ethical into an instrument of unaccountable power. So this is the crucible into which ESG was born. It's, let's say, the psycho-intellectual underpinning of it. Now, if you're interested in understanding precisely what ESG is and why it is structurally unethical, no matter how well-intentioned the people who apply it may be, check out this next video, which I'll put up here, or you can search for the empty core of ESG.